Today I'm going to talk about the new album by 6 Feet Under called Killing for Revenge. The album was released on May 10th, 2024 through Metal Blade Records. So you're probably expecting a negative review because that seems to be what all the channels are doing these days. But I have to admit, I don't hate this thing. I'm not saying it's an awesome album or anything. It has some issues, but I don't hate it. So basically, this is one of those bands that metal fans love to hate. Part of it is because the album from 2020 that was called Nightmares of the Decomposed. Now, I will admit, that's not a good album. Some people might say trying to follow this up was a bad idea. Like the time that guy tried to get out of his garage before the door came down.
I just told you to hop for no reason.
It's not gonna work again though.
It'll work.
The same problem.
It'll work. Watch your head.
He's gonna hit his head.
Watch your head.
But in a recent interview with one of my friends and main collaborators on this channel, the Chill Dude on the Couch Reviews, the guitarist Jack Owen said that they were rushed to put out the album. He admits that Nightmares of the Decomposed was not a good album. Then there was the vocals of Chris Barnes doing the E, and that became a meme in itself, but he doesn't have any more E on this album. I think he got the message. I would like to come to this band's defense, though. People have to understand that this band was started as a side project by Chris Barnes back in 1995 while he was in Cannibal Corpse, but then he got fired from Cannibal Corpse, so he made this his full-time job. But now you have to understand something. This is not supposed to be a Cannibal Corpse Part 2. It's a different type of band. I see it as Cannibal Corpse Light, a band that's a little easier to listen to, an extreme metal band that's not too extreme. This is a band that a metal fan who only listens to Metallica and Iron Maiden can get into it because it's more accessible. Yeah, the guitar riffs might not be that complex and the lyrics are not very graphic or deep, but I'll talk more about the lyrics later. This is a death metal slash groove metal slash death and roll band as they are listed in the Metal Archives website. There are lots of technical death metal bands out there, but one does not go from Metallica to Cryptopsy. You have to work your way up to it. So I'll be honest, I think 6 Feet Under have some good albums, but not the covers albums. I'll get to that later because there's one cover on this album that could have been left off. It's really bad. But anyway, let's get into this album. There are 13 songs. The album is 47 minutes long. The first song is the single released. My first impression is that song, it sounded very simple. I thought the guitar riff was something that was probably easy to learn, but as I was saying before, they never meant this, or they never wanted to be a technical band. I think the simplicity of the main guitar riff makes it catchy. Lyrically, it seems to be a diss track. He's talking about someone he hates, calling him Know Nothing Ingrate. That's the name of the song, I forgot to say. I don't know who it was meant for. If it's someone in particular, I don't know. Let us know in the comments. The next one is Accomplice to Evil Deeds. This one sounds like some straightforward death metal. They use some stop-start guitar riffs and a hard-driving rhythm. Chris Barnes, he sounds okay. It's another short song like the first one. It's just over 2 minutes. The song has lyrics similar to a typical Cannibal Corpse song. The song's about a person who is a killer and a cannibal, and they bring someone to help them, to carry him out, or to carry out the murders with him, and then they're going to hand him the zip ties, hand him the bone saw while he does this murder, and lyrics are simple and repetitive, and it's kind of what we come to expect. The next song is called Ascension. This was one of the singles. It's actually the second single. This one is characterized by lots of fast tremolo picking on the lower strings of the guitar. This gives it a sound similar to many of the early albums by Death or other death metal bands. But while this is going on, there are lots of blast beats and fast drum beats throughout the song. As for the lyrics, they're about blood, cutting, lies. I couldn't really make a story out of it, so I'm not even going to attempt to interpret it, so let's get to the next song. After this is a song called When the Moon Goes Down in Blood. I have mixed feelings about this one because the lyrics are kind of graphic. They're about a guy who kills people at night. It is implied that he targets women, and then he does certain things to her when she is dead. I'll let you read the lyrics. I don't want to describe it, or this video will get flagged, but musically, actually one of my favorite guitar riffs from the album. It's a chromatic guitar riff played on the high end of the neck, and I really like that. So I kind of have mixed feelings about the song. After this is a song called Hostility Against Mankind, and this one is a slow song, lots of heavy guitar riffs, and I felt it was more of a groove metal type of song. Didn't really strike me as death metal, but this is what the band does. The guitar riffs were not very complex, but they were enjoyable to listen to. The lyrics are about somebody who just murders and kills everybody and kills as much as he can, and then when he's killed enough, he's going to do that to himself. I'm not going to say that word because I don't want to get flagged again, but this one is not too bad. The next song is called Compulsive. The song is about somebody who appears to be in some type of psychiatric facility because he eats his own skin. That's what I got from it. Somebody with this compulsive disorder, and the lyrics get kind of graphic. But it was typical death metal. It had the type of guitar riffs that you would expect. Then we have Fit of Carnage, another one with a typical death metal sound. The lyrics were kind of hard to interpret because on the one hand, they're talking about killing all the evil people and the deceivers, and then they talk about some type of parasite that turns people into zombies or something like that. It's another song that's okay. I'm finding that this album starts to drag a little as it moves towards the end. I like the front half better, but there are going to be some songs that are okay towards the end of this album. So let's get to those. The next song is called Neanderthal, and this was the inspiration for my thumbnail because I thought it was funny. They're talking about a Neanderthal man, and they have a line which alludes to the fact that when they find their mate, they would hit them with a club and drag them by their hair. I think that's how they used to show it in cartoons or something like that, but they mentioned it in the lyrics. Otherwise, it's a slower song, probably more groove-oriented than death metal, but not too bad. The next song is called Judgment Day, and this one is very fast-paced. It's another typical death metal-sounding song. Now, as for the lyrics, it's about Judgment Day and all the bad people in the world. And if you read the lyrics, they list things like child killers, but they also list people like politicians and internet trolls. And I didn't know being an internet troll will affect you on Judgment Day. Like, I'm not expecting to go to the gates of heaven and seeing St. Peter, and you being an internet troll is going to impede you from passing the pearly gates, but that's what it is. Then the next song is called Bestial Savagery. It's the title doesn't really match the lyrics. It's about a big tornado that rips through town and destroys everything and kills people, but as for the music, more typical death metal, lots of that tremolo picking. Thought the music was good, lyrics pretty well written, and it's a decent song. Next song is called Mass Casualty and Murderside, and my first impression was I needed to know if murderside was an actual word, so I checked Google, and yes, it appears in the dictionary, and I'm not going to say what it means, but you can figure it out. It's a shortened version of two words I was talking about before. Now, the lyrics are kind of strange. It's about a group of people who want everybody dead at this point. I don't even know why I'm trying to analyze the lyrics, but I sort of think it's more the same typical death metal. There's one part in the middle of the song where they do this melodic interlude. I thought that was a nice touch. Then we have a song called Spoils of War. But this one was one of the better ones from the second half. It sounded more like a hybrid thrash metal and death metal type of song. The lyrics were about all the horrible things that one would experience during the war. And finally, we get to their cover of Hair of the Dog by Nazareth. And I've said it before, I said at the beginning of this video, this was a waste of time. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever heard a death metal band cover a classic rock song and had it sound good. I'm even talking about some of the bigger name bands. I've never heard a good death metal cover of classic rock. So no need to talk about this, it's just not good. Now for my final thoughts, I don't hate this, so I'm not going to give it a very terrible score. I was supposed to be on the panel of Is It That Bad series. They were recording on a Friday night. I wasn't able to attend, so I'm not going to be in that video. But if I was going to go by the Is It That Bad rules, I was going to give it a thumb sideways because this is something that I don't hate. I'm not going to listen to it a lot, but I think I might revisit it every now and then. It's kind of fun. I think there are a few songs that I can get into. So for my channel, my score is going to be 6.5 out of 10. Probably the highest score it's going to get out of any of the other channels. I haven't really watched the other reviews, but I plan to. But that's all. Let me know what you think of this album. Do you hate it? Do you love it? Do you think it's not that bad? Check out this video right here. I'll stick something there. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.